Wish you all a wonderful day. May God bless you all with a lot of joy, good health, peace, prosperity. As I always say, with systematic planning and hard work, everybody can be a successful person. So believe in yourself, work hard, be nice to your family, be nice to your friends, neighbors, and everybody you come across, and just work hard, just dream about your goal. Go ahead. Today we discuss, or rather, not just discussing, we are just reading some of the wonderful poems of Walt Whitman. As we all know, Walt Whitman is a great poet of the world. Yes, of course, he is an American poet, and Walt Whitman is noted for the very great poetry he contributed to the world. And we know that Walt Whitman has a very, very distinctive national voice because he, in his poems, writes about or speaks about or glorifies the very unique vitality of the new nation, United States of America. So too, he writes about the vastness of the United States of America and the very emergence of the troubled consciousness of the people of United States of America. And unlike people, poets before him, he writes in a unique verse. And we know that he is a champion of free verse. And now let us look at some of the poems from the collection Children of Adam. The first poem we see from the children of Adam is to the garden of world, to the garden, the world, to the garden, the world anew ascending, potent mates, daughters, sons, preluding the love, the life of their bodies, meaning and being. Curious here, behold my resurrection after slumber. The revolving cycles in their wide sweep having brought me again, amorous, mature, all beautiful to me, all wondrous, my limbs and the queering fire that ever plays through them, for reasons most wondrous, existing, appear and penetrate still, content with the present, content with the past, by my side or back of me, Eve following, or in front and I following her just the same. Now we look at the second poem from Pent Up Aching Rivers. From pent up aching rivers, from that of myself without which I were nothing, from what I am determined to make illustrious, even if I stand sole among men, from my own voice resonant, singing the phallus, singing the song of procreation, singing the need of superb children and daring superb grown people, singing the muscular urge and the blending, singing the bedfellow's song or resistless yearning. Oh, for any and each the body correlative attracting. Oh, for you and whoever you are your correlative body. Oh, it's more than all else you delighting. From the hungry know that eats the night and day, from native moments, from bashful pains, singing them, seeking something yet unfound, though I have diligently sought it many a long year, singing the true song of the soul, fitful at random, renascent with grossest nature or among animals. Of that, of them and what goes with them, my poems inform me. Of the smell of apples and lemons, of the pairing of birds, of the wet of woods, of the lapping of waves, of the mad pushes of waves upon the land. I them chanting, the overture lightly sounding, the strain anticipating, the welcome nearness, the sleight of the perfect body, the swimmer swimming naked in the bath, or motionless on his back lying and floating, the female from approaching, I pensive, love flesh tremulous aching, the divine list for myself or you or for anyone making, the face, the limbs, the index from head to foot, and what it arouses, the mystic deliria, the madness amorous, the utter abandonment. Hark, close and still, what I now whisper to you. I love you, or you entirely possesses me, or that you and I escape from the rest and go utterly off, free and lawless. Two hawks in the air, two fishes swimming in the sea, not more lawless than we. The furious storm through me careering, I passionately trembling, the oath of the inseparableness of two together, of the woman that loves me and whom I love more than my life, that oath swearing, oh, I willingly stake all of you. Oh, let me be lost if it must be so. Oh, you and I, what is it to us what the rest do or think? What is all else to us? Only that we enjoy each other and exhaust each other if it must be so. From the master, the pilot, I yield the vessel to the general commanding me, commanding all, from him permission taking, from time the program hastening. I have loitered too long as it is, from sex, from the warp and from the woof, from privacy, from frequent repinings alone, from plenty of persons near and yet the right person not near, from the soft sliding of hands over me and thrusting of fingers through my hair and beard, from the long sustained kiss upon the mouth or bosom, from the close pressure that makes me or any man drunk, fainting with excesses, from what the divine husband knows, from the work of fatherhood, from exultation, victory, and relief, from the bedfellow's embrace in the night, from the act poems of eyes, hands, hips, and bosoms, from the cling of the trembling arm, from the bending curve and the clinch, from side by side the pliant cowlet of throwing, from the one so unwilling to have me leave, and me just as unwilling to leave, yet a moment, O tender waiter, and I return. From the hour of shining stars and dropping dews, from the night, a moment I emerging, flitting out. Celebrate, you act divine, and you children prepared for, and you stalwart loins. Next poem is I Sing the Body Electric. I sing the body electric, the armies of those I love engird me and engird them. They will not let me off till I go with them, respond to them, and discard them. and charged them full with the charge of the soul. Was it doubted that those who corrupt their own bodies conceal themselves? And if those who defile the living are as bad as they who defile the dead, and if the body does not do fully as much as the soul, and if the body were not the soul, what is the soul? The love of the body of man or woman box account, the body itself box account that the male is perfect and that of the female is perfect. The expression of the face box account, but the expression of a well made man appears not only in his face, it is in his limbs and joints also. It is curiously in the joints of his hips and wrists. It is in his walk, the carriage of his neck, the flex of his waist and knees. Dress does not hide him. The strong, sweet quality he has strikes through the cotton and broadcloth. To see him pass conveys as much as the best poem, perhaps more. You linger to see his back and the back of his neck and shoulder side. The sprawl and fullness of babes, the bosoms and heads of women, the folds of their dress, their style as we pass in the street, the contour of their shape downwards, the swimmer naked in the swimming bath, seen as he swims through the transparent green shine, or lies with his face up and rolls silently to and fro in the heave of the water, the bending forward and backward of rowers in rowboats, the horseman in his saddle, girls, mothers, housekeepers in all their performances. The group of laborers seated at noontime with their open dinner kettles and their wives waiting, the female soothing a child, the farmer's daughter in the garden or cow yard, the young fellow hoeing corn, the sleigh driver driving his 6 horses through the crowd, the rustle of rustlers, 2 apprentice boys, quite grown, lusty, good natured, native born, out on the vacant lot at sundown after work, the coats and caps thrown down, the embrace of love and resistance, the upper hold and under hold, the hair rumpled over and blinding the eyes, the march of firemen in their own costumes, the play of masculine muscle through clean setting trousers and waist straps, the slow return from the fire, the pause when the bell strikes suddenly again, and the listening on the alert, the natural, perfect, varied attitudes, the bent head, the curved neck, and the counting, such like I love. I loosen myself, pass freely, arm at the mother's breast with the little child, swim with the swimmers, wrestle with wrestlers, march in line with the firemen, and pause, listen, count. I knew a man, a common farmer, the father of 5 sons, and in them the fathers of sons, and in them the fathers of sons. This man was of wonderful vigor, calmness, beauty of person, the shape of his head, the pale yellow and white of his hair and beard, the immeasurable meaning of his black eyes, the immeasurable meaning of his black eyes, the richness and the breadth of his manners. These I used to go and visit him to see. He was wise also. He was 6 feet tall. He was over 80 years old. He was 6 feet tall and he was over 80 years old. His sons were massive, clean, bearded, tan faced, handsome. They and his daughters loved him. They and his daughters loved him. All who saw him loved him. They did not love him by allowance. They loved him with personal love. He drank water only. The blood showed like scarlet through the clear brown skin of his face. He was a frequent gunner and fisher. He sailed his boat himself. He had a fine one presented to him by a ship journey. He had fowling pieces presented to him by men that loved him. When he went with his 5 sons and many grandsons to hunt or fish, you would pick him out as the most beautiful and vigorous of the gang. You would wish long and long to be with him. You would wish to sit by him in the boat that you and he might touch each other. I have perceived that to be with those I like is enough. To stop in company with the rest at evening is enough. To be surrounded by beautiful, curious, breathing, laughing flesh is enough. To pass among them or touch anyone or rest my arm ever so lightly round his or her neck for a moment. What is this then? I do not ask any more delight. I swim in it as in a sea. There is something in staying close to men and women and looking on them, and in the contact and an odor of them, that pleases the soul well. All things please the soul, but these please the soul well. This is the female form. A divine nimbus exhales from it from head to foot. It attracts with fierce, undeniable attraction. I am drawn by its breath as if I were no more than a helpless vapor, all falls aside, but myself and it. Books, art, religion, time, the visible and solid earth, what was expected of heaven or feared of hell are now consumed. Mad filaments, ungovernable shoots play out of it. The response likewise ungovernable. Hair, bosom, hips, bend of legs, negligent, falling hands, all diffuse. Mine too diffused. Ebb stung by the flow and flow stung by the ebb. Love, flesh swelling and deliciously aching. Limitless limpid jets of love, hot and enormous. Curing jelly of love, white blow and delirious juice. Bridegroom, night of love, working surely and softly into the prostrate dawn, undulating into the willing and yielding day, lost in the cleave of the clasping and sweet flesh day. This is the nucleus. After the child is born of woman, man is born of woman. This the bath of birth. This the merge of small and large and the outlet again. Be not ashamed, women. Your privilege encloses the rest and is the exit of the rest. You are the gates of the body and you are the gates of the soul. The female contains all qualities and tempers them. She is in her place and moves with perfect balance. She is all things duly veiled. She is both passive and active. She is to conceive daughters as well as sons, and sons as well as daughters. As I see my soul reflected in nature, as I see through a mist, one with inexpressible completeness, sanity, beauty, see the bent head, arms folded over the breast, the female I see. The male is not less the soul nor more. He too is in his place. He too is all qualities. He is action and power. The flesh of the known universe is in him. Scorn becomes him well, and appetite and defiance become him well. The wildest, largest passions, bliss that is utmost, sorrow that is utmost, become him well. Pride is for him. The full spread pride of man is coming and excellent to the soul. Knowledge becomes him. He likes it always. He brings everything to the test of himself. Whatever the survey, whatever the sea and the sail, he strikes soundings at last only here. Where else does he strike soundings except here? The man's body is sacred and the woman's body is sacred. No matter who it is sacred and the woman's body is sacred. No matter who it is sacred. Is it the meanest one in the laborer's gang? Is it one of the dull-faced immigrants just landed on the wharf? Each belongs here or anywhere just as much as the well-off, just as much as you. Each has his or her place in the procession. All is a procession. The universe is a procession with measured and perfect motion. Do you know so much yourself that you call the meanest ignorant? Do you suppose you have a right to a good sight and he or she has no right to a sight? Do you think matter has cohered together from its diffuse flood, and the soil is on the surface, and water runs, and vegetarian sprouts for you only, and not for him and her? A man's body at auction, for before the war I often go to the slave mart and watch the sale. I help the auctioneer. The solvent does not half know his business. Gentlemen, look on this wonder. Whatever the bird bids of the bidders, they cannot be high enough for it. For it the globe lay preparing quintillions of years without one animal or plant. For it the revolving cycles truly and steadily rolled. In this head the all baffling brain, in it and below it the makings of heroes. Examine these limbs, red, black, or white. They are cunning in tendon and nerve. They shall be strict that you may see them. Exquisite senses, life lit eyes, pluck, volition. Flakes of breast muscle, pliant backbone and neck, flesh not flabby, good-sized arms and legs, and wonders within their et. Within there runs blood, the same old blood, the same red running blood. There swells and jets a heart, their old passions, desires, reachings, aspirations. Do you think they are not there because they are not expressed in parlors and lecture rooms? This is not only one man, this is the father of those who shall be fathers in their turns. In him, the start of populous states and rich republics, of him, countless immortals lives with countless embodiments and enjoyments. How do you know who shall come from the offspring of his offspring through the centuries? Who might you find you have come from yourself if you could trace back through the centuries? A woman's body at auction. She too is not only herself, she is the teeming mother of mothers. She is the bearer of them that shall grow and be mates to the mothers. Have you ever loved the body of a woman? Have you ever loved the body of a man? Do you not see that these are exactly the same to all in all nations and times all over the earth? If anything is sacred, the human body is sacred, and the glory and sweat of a man is the token of manhood untainted, and in man or woman a clean, strong, firm, fibered body is more beautiful than the most beautiful face. Have you seen the fool that corrupted his own life body, or the fool that corrupted her own live body? For they do not conceal themselves and cannot conceal themselves. O my body, I dare not desert the likes of you in other men and women, nor the likes of the parts of you. I believe the lights of you are to stand or fall with the lights of the soul, and that they are the soul. I believe the lights of you shall stand or fall with my poems, and that they are my poems, man's, woman's, child's, youth's, wives, husbands, mothers, fathers, young man's, young woman's poems, head, neck, hair, ears, drop and tympan of the ears, eyes, eye fringes, iris of the eye, eyebrows, and the waking or sleeping of the lips, mouth, tongue, lips, teeth, roof of the mouth, jaws, and the jaw hinges, nose, nostrils of the nose, and the partition, cheeks, temples, forehead, chin, throat, back of the neck, neck sleeve, strong shoulders, manly beard, scapula, hinge shoulders, and the ample side round of the chest, upper arm, armpit, elbow socket, lower arm sinews, arm bones, wrist and wrist joints, hand, palm, knuckles, thumb, forefinger, finger joints, fingernails, broad breast front, curling hair of the breast, breastbone, breast side, ribs, belly, backbone, joints of the backbone, hips, hip sockets, hip strength, inward and outward round, man balls, man root, strong set of thighs, well carrying the trunk above, leg fibers, knee pan, upper leg, ankles, instep, football, toes, toe joints, heel, all attitudes, all the shapeliness, all the belongings of my or your body or of anyone's body, male or female, the lungs, sponges, the stomach sac, the bowels, sweet and clean, the brain is folds inside the skull frame, sympathies, heart valves, palate valves, sexuality, maternity, womanhood, and all that is a woman, and the man that comes from woman, the womb, the tears, nipples, breast milk, tears, laughter, weeping, love looks, love perturbations and risings, the voice, articulation, language, whispering, shouting aloud, food, drink, pulse, digestion, sweat, sleep, walking, swimming, poise on the hips, leaping, reclining, embracing, arm curving, tightening, the continual changes of the flex of the mouth and around the eyes, the skin, the sunburned shade, freckles, hair, the curious sympathy one feels when feeling with the hand the naked meat of the body, the circling rivers, the breath, and breathing it in and out, the beauty of the waist, and thence of the hips, and thence downward toward the knees. The thin red jellies within you or within me, the bonds and the marrow in the bones, the exquisite realization of health. Oh, I say these are not the parts and poems of the body only, but of the soul. Oh, I say now these are the soul. Now we have another poem which is titled A Woman Waits for Me. A woman waits for me. She contains all. Nothing is lacking. Yet all were lacking if sex were lacking. Or if the moisture of the right man were lacking. Sex contains all bodies, souls, meanings, proofs, purities, delicacies, results, promulgations, songs, commands, health, pride, the maternal mystery, the seminal milk, all hopes, benefactions, bestowals, all the passions, loves, beauties, delights of the earth, all the governments, judges, gods, followed persons of the earth. These are contained in sex as parts of itself and justifications of itself. Without shame, the man I like knows and avows the deliciousness of his sex. Without shame, the woman I like knows the avows and avows hers. Now I will dismiss myself from impassive women. I'll go stay with her who waits for me, and with those women that are warm blooded and sufficient for me. I see that they understand me and do not deny me. I see that they are worthy of me, and I will be the robust husband of those women. They are not one jot less than I. They are tanned in the face by shining suns and blowing winds. Their flesh has the old divine suppleness and strength. They know how to swim, row side, wrestle, shoot, run, strike, retreat, advance, resist, defend themselves. They are ultimate in their own right. They are calm, clear, well possessed of themselves. I draw you close to me, you women. I cannot let you go. I would do you good. I am for you and you are for me. not only for our own sake, but for others' sakes. Enveloped in your sleep, greater heroes and bards, they refuse to awake in the touch of any man but me. It is I, you remember, I make my way. I am stern, acrid, large, indissuadable, but I love you. I do not hurt you any more than is necessary for you. I pour the stuff to start sons and daughters fit for these states. I press with slow, rude muscle. I brace myself effectually. I listen to no entreaties. I dare not withdraw till I deposit what has so long accumulated within me. Through you I drain the pent up rivers of myself. In you I wrap a thousand onward years. On you I graft the grafts of the best beloved of me and America. The drops I distill upon you shall grow. Fierce and athletic girls, new artists, musicians, and singers. The babes I beget upon you are to beget babes in their turn. I shall demand perfect men and women out of my love spendings. I shall expect them to interpenetrate with others as I and you interpenetrate now. I shall count on the fruits of the gushing showers of them as I count on the fruits of the gushing showers I give now. I shall look for loving crops from the birth, life, death, immortality I plant so lovingly now. With this, we wind up the recitation session of today. Next day, we will have more poems from the great American poet Walt Whitman. Thanks a lot for listening. May God bless you. Bye bye. Have a great day.